Welcome to View from the Markets. We're here today in Seoul, South Korea, with Jim Rogers, author of Investment Biker and famed investor. It's now a year since we last interviewed you. That time it was in Beijing, and I'd like to take you through some of the predictions you made at the time. One of the more interesting ones was that you were very aggressively bearish about the dollar, but you thought that there would probably be a rebound before long, and you would take that as an opportunity to further get out of the dollar. That one seems to have come right. Have you indeed made a further exit from the dollar?
Not yet, no. And the reason I haven't is because we're in a period of forced liquidation of everything. We've only had 8 or 9 periods like this in the past 150 years where everybody has to reverse their positions of everything. There is a gigantic short position in the dollar, and they're all having to cover as they reverse their positions. So this rally is going to go on much further than I would have expected, to my delight, because then I'll get to sell at higher prices. I don't know whether I'll get out this month or this year even, maybe next year. But I do plan to get out of the rest of my U.S. dollars because this is an artificial rally caused purely by short covering.
How will you tell, or what factors will you use to try to guess when that deleveraging is finally over?
So I have no idea. I'm sure I won't get it right, but I do hope that when there's a lot of euphoria about the dollar and everybody's saying, well, see, there's no problem with the dollar, that all the things that happen at tops, I hope I'm smart enough to recognize it and finally get out of the dollar, because it is a flawed and maybe even doomed currency.
And why is it in such a bad way at the moment? I mean, do you blame Ben Bernanke and the other financial authorities in the US?
Well, it was in trouble before. Bernanke's been around for 5 or 6 years, but it's been in trouble for a while. Bernanke's made it much, much, much worse, of course, because they're printing gigantic amounts of money. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet has been destroyed by Bernanke. The U.S. government's balance sheet has been destroyed by Paulson. So the two of them together ensure that the U.S. dollar is finished.
So how do you see this whole process ending? I mean, will we end up returning to the gold standard or something similar? And people are talking about Bretton Woods too. Or do we just end up with a very weak dollar?
Well, Bretton Woods too, I don't know what they're going to come up with. I don't think they'll try fixed exchange rates again. I mean, I hope they're smart enough to know that that will not work in 2009, 2010. I suspect that whatever comes out of there will be a failure. Maybe we're lucky and it'll just be a talking shop and they'll all go down to the bar and drink beer together and we won't have any consequences. But the way it will wind up, I suspect eventually there'll be exchange controls in the United States as things get really bad. Politicians have always resorted to exchange controls in the past. Now, this is not anytime soon. And after the exchange controls fail, I don't know. Will they try the dollar standard again? I suspect not. If it happens in the next couple of years, they might try the euro or something. If it happens in 15 years, they'll probably try the renminbi. Conceivably, we'll try the gold standard. I suspect not. But now, having said that, John, I want to show you. I got my own goal, so just in case, I'm ahead of the game.
Well done. That's mightily impressive. You sound very bearish. There's plenty of bearish people around at the moment. I mean, how severe do you think the recession that we appear to be heading for is going to be?
Well, first of all, I'm wildly bullish on some things. We can come back to that. The recession is probably going to be the worst we've had since the Second World War. I mean, the excesses we had going into this recession was certainly the worst excesses we've had in a long, long time, perhaps in world history. I don't know any time when people could buy a house with no money down. I've never seen that. And many people in America could buy 4 or 5 houses with no money down and no job. I mean, that's unprecedented in world history. Then the bankers took it to car loans and credit card loans and student loans and LBO. I mean, everything. They were having so much fun with all these loans that they just spread it everywhere. Well, you don't clean out a problem like that, excess like that, in a year or two. It takes a long time. The politicians are exacerbating it. You remember in 1929 and 30, what should have been just a normal recession turned into the Great Depression because politicians all over the world made mistakes. It's happening again.